Hi, I'm Stuart from the Norfolk Honey Company, and today we've been inspecting one of our apiaries, and we've discovered, much to our surprise and delight, that a swarm has descended upon the apiary, and they've occupied at some point over the last few days this old unused nuke box. So we're going to open them up and have a look, see what's inside, and then try and help them out by putting them on a stand and sorting it out. So we'll have a look in here, and we've also just seen some brace comb in one of our colonies. So later in the video we'll also show you what brace comb looks like and how you can tackle it in a main hive. So keep watching. So we're not sure how long these bees have been in here. This nuke box has been sat here with some old frames for some considerable time, as you can probably tell. So we'll just ease this off. So it's not a massive swarm, but it looks like we've got ants in residence and a few bees, and let's just have a little look to see if we've got anything here that we can make use of. So they've cleaned up a frame, and I'm just looking to, well, we've got eggs and brood in here. It's probably a little difficult to see because they're quite immature, so these are only maybe a week or so old. So I would say that the swarm has probably arrived in here about a week ago, and you can just see maybe in the bottom of the cells the glistening royal jelly, and there are eggs around here that I can see. So let's see if we can spot a queen, and if she's got a little mark on, we might actually be able to tell whether it's one of our own colonies that's swarmed, because we have had a few swarms recently. And if you take a look in the bottom of the box, you can see the kind of mess that mice and ants will create, much to my shame. We should have moved this box, but hey, we've managed to catch a swarm in it, so we won't beat ourselves up too much about that. So they're on 2.5 frames, so not very big at all. And again, there are eggs in this frame as well. And we'll just have a look in the last frame that they're on, and then we'll give them a nice clean new home and feed them. And they're actually starting to store some of the local nectar, which is mostly blackberry at the moment. So I haven't seen the queen, but we'll just move this box away and put a new stand and a clean nuke box in its place, certainly a lot cleaner than this one, and then we'll transfer the frames across. So bear with me while I just do that. Okay, so we've got the stand and the new nuke in place, and on this one we've actually got two entrances. We can open the entrance up at the bottom, or we can use the entrance at the side here. We're going to use this one because it's just a small entrance that the bees can now defend more easily than a slightly larger entrance, and we can open them up a bit more should they require it. So that's in place, and we're just going to transfer these frames across as we go, having another quick look to see if we can see the queen. I'm putting them back in the same order that they currently are, just to keep the bees in position. We certainly know that we have a queen in here. It would be nice to point her out to you, but at the moment I can't see her. seem determined to hang from the bottom frame at the moment. So she could be buried in there somewhere. Okay, so we've found the queen. Here she is, just tucked in amongst. Let's see if we can just move her away. There she goes. Looks quite healthy. She's got all her legs and wings. Okay, so we've got a frame feeder here. It's designed for a national hive, and these are commercial frames. This is a commercial nuke. We operate both, but it's the only thing we've got available currently at this apiary, and it'll fit perfectly okay. We just have to make sure that we check it so that they're not building too much brace comb. And basically it just slides in, make sure we don't kill any bees, it just slides into the nuke box and sits at the side, and I'll just pop some food into that. So we'll just top it up with some sugar syrup. And eventually inside the feeder there's a small piece of wood which acts as a float so that the bees don't drown in the syrup. So if you just bear with me, it's now floating to the surface and you'll be able to see it just pop up. Just like a submarine, there it is. And so the bees can sit on that quite happily, and as they take the food, so it will gradually drop down into the feeder, and we can top it up as we like. So we'll pause now, and we'll take a look at the brace comb. Okay, so we've just opened up this hive to carry out an inspection, and the first thing we've noticed is that we've forgotten to put a dummy board in at the end of the colony, and as a result the bees have produced lots of comb on the side here, and this is called brace comb, and we try to avoid the bees producing this because, as you can see, they've stitched it to the side of the hive and to the frame, and again here. So when we take this frame out to inspect, it's just going to tear that away. So we'll carry out the inspection, and when we get to this frame we'll take it out and show you the brace comb in a bit more detail, and then we'll show you what a dummy board looks like and how it works to prevent this from happening. Okay, so we've carried out an inspection of the colony. They're in good health, there's plenty of bees, plenty of brood and stores, and so we come to this end frame with the brace comb, and what I'm going to do is just ease it towards me and drop the hive tool along the back edge where the brace comb has been attached to the hive, just making sure that I'm trying to avoid catching any bees as we go down. And it looks as if we've caught this before they've built too extensive a network of brace comb. So you can see there that, looking at the size of these cells, these are going to be drone cells. So now we've cut it away from the side of the hive wall, we can just simply lift it out and take a better look at it. And it's really fascinating, really incredible to see how they construct their comb. So this section is attached just at the top, so I'll pop that down here, and this section is a kind of a spoon shape. We'll call this the Starship Enterprise, and we'll just take that off as well, and it is just a case of peeling it away. And this excuse me, this is all nectar that's been foraged from the blackberries that are now in flower. So we'll pop this back in. Looks like the comb has just buckled a bit there, but that's not a problem. So we'll get this back inside after we've scraped down this edge. So we're just going to take out these remaining little bits of wax. Okay, now so we had to take out a frame that was situated in here, so we need to remember to place that back. And that's this one, and again the bees have drawn that really well. So this colony was actually a swarm that we collected a few weeks ago, and they've drawn all of the foundation really well. So we'll place this frame snugly against that one, and that leaves this gap at the edge. So what we use is something called a dummy board, and this is a dummy board. It's just a straight piece of board built to the same size as a frame, and on this one we've actually got a flush side and a rebaited side, and that's so that if there happens to be along the edge some extended comb, that if we were to put the flush side against, we'd crush the comb and the bees. We can use that side, and what we have here is the extended comb. So rather than shaking the bees off and just crushing that, we're going to pop this in so that it sits against the frame like so. Okay, so we've got the final frame here, and we're just going to pop that in at this edge, and then we'll just use a hive tool just to tighten everything up to this end, and then next time we'll start inspecting at this end, because we've got the flush side of the dummy board against the hive. So if we were to push the frames against that hive wall, then we would crush any bees that were in that side. So we've tightened all of the frames to this edge simply by popping a hive tool in at this end and just using it to squeeze all of the frames to this end. That maintains the bee space, and it's filled in the gap that the bees were building the brace comb. And so now we're just going to go ahead and pop a queen excluder and super on them, and hopefully they'll produce us some fine blackberry honey this summer. Okay, so we're back at the nuke that we have exchanged with the old box that the swarm had found themselves into, and they seem to have settled in quite well. The bees here are fanning their Nasanov glands to indicate that this is home, so we seem to have done a reasonable job with this one. I hope you found the video of use and of interest. If you did, please hit the like button and share it with your friends, and if you haven't already, then hit the subscribe button. We're hoping to make more videos as we head along. So if you have anything that you'd like us to show you, or any questions you'd like us to answer, pop them in the comments underneath the video. And if you enjoyed this video, then pop over to our home channel and have a look at the other videos that are available. We'll catch up with you next time, and thanks very much for watching.